Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13, Episode 5, Driving Miss Crazy. Alright, well this episode opens doing a dry run for Valentina Loren's 5th birthday party. It's a Barbie theme, but it's also red carpet. Of course it's over the top bougie because that's how we do it. Okay? Nothing gives me more pleasure than to see my kids smile. So they're doing this run through. Little Dominic is walking his sister down the aisle. Danielle is like the worst stage mom ever. Valentina, wave to your guest. Hi, Sarah. Be over the top. And little Valentina, 4 years old at this point, that's not Sarah, Ma. She's not here. She's a little Danielle. I'm sorry, she's going to be a nightmare when she's a teenager. I know it. But right now, she's cute as hell. I love it. So we find out that Teresa and Louie, Jennifer, and I think she's bringing Olivia and Christian, and Rachel is bringing her little daughter. They're all invited. Nobody else from the group because, this is Danielle. This is how she does it. This is not a one for all and all for one. No, ma'am. I invite who I like, who I get a good vibe from, which is fine because it's actually, technically more normal, right? But I am surprised that she isn't required to have all the ladies there. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to go to Staten Island. That's where the party is. So Danielle is telling Nate, her husband, that she's a little bit worried because Rachel and Jennifer, let's just say they had a little skirmish at Teresa's housewarming party. So, she's a little bit worried. That could be an issue. However, Jennifer Fessler is having a brunch that's before the birthday party. So Danielle is kind of like, we'll just see how that goes first. Kind of test the waters there. All right, next we are at Rachel's shore house, and her family is coming over. We get to meet her mom and dad and her grandmother. Her mother, she says, is very Jewish. Her grandmother is very Italian. She reminds me a lot of Teresa's parents, and she's got some sass to her, too. So she's talking to Rachel, and she's like, I haven't heard from you in so long. And Rachel's like, I know. We've been so busy. Her grandmother goes, what? You pick it up, you push a button. Hi, Nona. Rachel tells us that she has a very close family. Her brother and his wife also come to the shore house, and they're very, very close. We also learn that John has full custody of Jaden, no visitation. Yeah, Rachel doesn't say why, which, she shouldn't, but all she tells us is that his mom has issues. So, yeah. That's sad. Next, we are with Melissa and Antonia is getting some driving practice in because she's going for her driver's license in 4 weeks or something like that. She's going very slow, and Melissa's like, oh my God, you've got such a lead foot. From the way it was being filmed, it seems like she was going very slow. Melissa wanted to run through a Starbucks drive-through, and Antonia could not do it. It was too narrow. First of all, they're in some big vehicle. I don't know what it is. Some kind of giant SUV. But she just thought the drive-through aisle was too narrow and she couldn't do it. So she's like, I can't do it. You're going to have to drive. So they stopped the car halfway in and half still in the street where cars are just honking. Anyway, after they get their Starbucks, Melissa has a little talk with Antonia and she said, I know you're on social media and you're seeing stuff, but I just want you to know that no matter how upset you see Dad, I don't ever want you to hold a grudge against Zia Teresa. And she's like, I won't. We don't get into your business. And she's like, you're still close to your cousins, right? And she goes, yeah. And we don't ever talk about the parents' stuff. Ever. So don't worry about it. The next scene is weird. We are in New York City, and Teresa, Melania, and Gia are all going to a bridal shop for what looks like a dress fitting for Teresa, but it is not. Apparently, Teresa has already picked out her dress, and she doesn't want anyone to see her dress. So what they're doing there today is she's just trying on other dresses by the same designer. I don't know if this is specifically just for the cameras. Is this some sort of contractual obligation with the designer? I bet. I just thought of that right now. I'll bet you anything she's getting some huge discount on the dress if she mentions the designer and or films a scene with him. Because he came out and they talked about her veil. And he was there to talk about that. And then she tried on another one of his dresses. So it's weird. I understand it. And this is a TV show. But because it's supposedly reality, scenes like this bother me. Like, what's the whole point of this? And the girls being there, like they're gonna, help their mom pick out a dress or something. So dumb. Anyway, Teresa goes, can you believe it? Mommy's getting married. And they're like, no, we cannot believe it. Melania goes, it seems like it's been a long time. And she goes, since I've known Louis? And she goes, yeah, it seems like you've known him for a long time. And then Teresa said, my parents got married in 3 months. And Gia's in a little bit of a mood today. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe she's tired. Maybe she's hungover. She's kind of not feeling Teresa today because she's like, she's doing a kind of a lot of eye rolling. I don't think she loved the scene with the designer because I'll bet you anything this was like the 3rd or 4th take. And I just got the feeling from the look on her face and the eye rolling and everything that Gia was kind of like, this is dumb. Anyway, now she's giving us her best Teresa voice, and she's like, my parents got married in 3 months. My brother and Melissa got married in a month. She's apparently heard that story before. In her confessional, the producer asks her, when's the last time everybody in the family got along well? And she said it was right before Louis. We were all like hanging out at the shore together. We were together all the time. It was just fun. And then Louis came around. So Melania says, your brother should walk you down the aisle. And Gia goes, she was literally like 2 seconds away from asking him before this all went down. Now it's like she's not even sure he's even coming. And Melania goes, that's a thing now? He might not come? And Teresa goes, no, I'm sure he is coming. He's not. Spoiler alert. Melania, if he doesn't, then that's a wrap. It's over with. I'm never speaking to him again. Well, I hope that's not true because, we know he didn't go. And I hate that it is spilling over into the kids. It doesn't have anything to do with them. In the next scene, we have Melissa and Jennifer meeting for lunch, and we get a little bit of a montage of their tumultuous past and how strange it is that they are, I don't know, and I guess not only on speaking terms, but they're going out to lunch together, just the two of them. Melissa kind of asks her how it's going with Bill, and Jennifer said, Bill and I don't even fight about the infidelity anymore. Now it's just about the kids. And how apparently vampires don't help with the child rearing. Side note, to be fair, every spare moment is spent learning how to be a human bro. And the Jersey bro, very emotional breed. That does not come easy for a vampire. Not going to happen overnight, people. So anyway, Jennifer tells her that she called Jen Fessler to get a recommendation for a marriage counselor or referral or whatever. And it's just that the conversation then kind of segued into Margaret. But Margaret is not the reason that she called. Melissa eventually agrees that Margaret might be a little bit harder on Jennifer than most people. Jennifer's like, Margaret goes through friends like water. Then we go through her ex-friend Laura, who's the one that reached out to Teresa and Jennifer. She used to be friends with Siggy. Now she's not anymore. She used to be friends with Danielle Staub. Now they're not anymore. And not just not friends anymore, but mortal enemies. When those friendships end with Margaret, they're pretty irreparable, I think. So anyway, Jennifer's kind of warning her to be careful. And she's like, and that's how she is. And Melissa goes, I don't know that to be true. And she said, Melissa, yes, you do. When I was talking to that Laura, she said that Margaret encourages you to leave Joe. Melissa, she does not. Jennifer, it's not true. She has never said that you need to be with a ball player. A ball player. That's hilarious, but also, yeah, she does. I totally see it. She could be like Larsa Pippen, right? Housewife, but also wife of a professional basketball, football player. That's actually a good call. And Melissa goes, oh yeah, she's said that 1,000 times. And I told Joe about it. But that was just, I was going through a tough time with Joe. She was just being a good girlfriend and like flattering me, like, oh, you could be with a professional, whatever. But she never encouraged me to leave my husband. That's a reach. Jennifer, okay, just be careful. She can be very dangerous. Okay, it is time for Jennifer Fessler's brunch. Jen Fessler hopes that the ladies will realize that parties are for eating and drinking and laughter and not being out for blood. And I'm hoping that Jen Fessler realizes that this is the Real Housewives. Each other's blood is exactly what's on the menu. And it's messier to clean up. Okay, the guests start to arrive and Margaret still has her cast on her arm, and she told Jennifer Fessler that she had to have surgery on her wrist because she was screwing around. She was using it too much. The doctor's like, yeah, told you not to use it, and now it looks like surgery is the only option. It was not healing right. Melissa is the next to arrive, and she's like, oh, your house is beautiful. And she goes, I had a beautiful bottle of champagne, and I left it on the counter at home. Jen Fessler goes, oh, well, go back and get it. And that's why I like her. I don't know that anybody else in this Jersey franchise has that kind of dry wit, which is kind of my favorite. But yeah, these ladies don't have that sense of humor. So as everybody else starts to arrive, they move outside to sit at a table in the yard. And Rachel tells them that she got invited to Valentina's birthday party. Melissa's like, oh, because, Melissa wasn't invited. Oh, who else was invited? And she said, oh, Teresa and Jennifer. Melissa's just like, oh, interesting. Oh, come on, do you really want to go to a Barbie birthday party? Oh, who am I kidding? That'll probably be the theme for her 50th. Then Danielle arrives. Jackie's there. I'm glad Jackie got invited. Teresa, everyone's there now. And people are asking Danielle about her relationship with her brother. Melissa probably spilled the beans and, so now they're talking about it. And she said it's been 2 years since she hasn't spoken to him. And then she goes and gives the exact same story that she gave Melissa in New York, which Melissa right away poked holes in it. And then she finally admitted, yeah, there was a lot more to that. But she tells the same story. I blocked my brother on Instagram and he said, well, okay, you're not in the wedding. And we haven't spoken since. Everyone's like, what? How is that even a thing? There's a lot of missing pieces there. Oh, I forgot. Jennifer's just getting there now. She's the last person to get there. And, Margaret's already pissed because Melissa filled her in on their, lunch together. So she knows that, again, Jennifer's been talking about her. Jennifer says something about how beautiful Jen Fessler's house is, which it is. It's nice. It's big. And Jen Fessler said something about not being boastful or, I don't know, something like that. Jackie's like, oh, you'll get along great with Jennifer. And then we get the flashback to, I have a very big house. I come from 16 bathrooms. Yes, she's very modest. And so she goes, I don't boast. I mean, it's just facts. Then Margaret launches into, listen, I know about your conversation with Melissa. And basically, what the hell? Jennifer, why are you trying to sway my friend's opinions of me? Well, whose opinion am I trying to sway? Jen Fessler and now Melissa. Stop talking about me. And she's like, I can talk about whatever I want to, Margaret. Margaret, that's why you don't have any genuine friendships, only Teresa. And then Danielle was like, you have a new friend in me. Jennifer's like, thank you. I was just giving the history. Margaret is like yelling now, she doesn't need the history. Jen Fessler's right next to Margaret and she goes, do you need the history? And Jen's like, no. Now Margaret is like screaming, she doesn't need the history. Do you think she'll ever love you more than she loves me, you fucking idiot? And just like that, Jen Fessler's hopes and dreams for a pleasant brunch are dashed. Dreams are for idiots, Jennifer Fessler. Jennifer actually tries to say that telling Jen Fessler about the history with Margaret was her way of extending an olive branch to someone new. Then Margaret again tells Jennifer, you don't have any friends. Then we get that infamous scene that was in the trailer where Jennifer tells Margaret, well, at least I have a family, which is something you'll never have. And then Margaret says, I have a good marriage, you stupid bitch. It grows louder and louder, if you can even imagine that. And Margaret is in a nasty mood. I mean, she's tough, but I have never seen her this nasty. Jennifer's like, just keeps coming at her, like, you know, line for line. But the real, like, rage, I would say, is coming out of Margaret. This isn't just Margaret trying to stir the pot. You know, you can tell when she's doing that. She just, like, you know, drops a few seeds and then sits back and watches the action. This is having like a real effect on Margaret. And I have to tell you, Jen Fessler has lost her mind. She stands up. She's like, stop, enough. She's acting crazy, and it still doesn't stop anybody. It's almost like she didn't stand up and wave her arms around. Nobody missed a beat. They are so into this fight, Jennifer and Margaret. They just can't even see straight. Jennifer's like, I have neighbors. Do you understand that? Because, you know, they're out in the backyard. Teresa, I swear to God. Oh, yeah, I know. I have 6 acres. How many do you have? Jen Fessler, not 6. What an ugly thing to say to somebody. Yeah, I noticed you do have neighbors that could hear the yelling. What are we striving for, ladies? You want to be able to just like murder someone on your property without the neighbors hearing anything? I figure you need about 6 acres at least. Again, none of this side stuff is stopping Margaret and Jennifer from this back and forth that is relentless. Now Jennifer's talking about how she's a good mom. Something you wouldn't know about. Margaret, God, you're a disheveled little drug addict. All the other ladies really are at their wits' end. In their confessionals, Rachel's like, I'm sitting here watching 2 grown women tear each other's assholes open. Ew. I think the best was Dolores's, who in her confessional just said, I'd rather watch these ladies punch each other in the face. Jen Fessler leaves, goes in the house, and then now Margaret is up on her feet and like she's going to leave. So she starts walking like she's going to go into the house. Jen Fessler's at the doorway and she's like, no, you're not leaving my house. And now Jen Fessler takes control. You're all embarrassing me. Margaret, sit your ass down. Jennifer, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Jennifer, oh, that's great, because I was just about to say I wanted to leave. Nobody's holding you there. So she gets up to go, and Teresa said, well, I'm going to go too then. Jen Fessler's like, yeah, that's fine. I can't do this for another second. She's like, I mean, you know it's bad if I didn't even eat any of the fried chicken. So, yeah, you know, when you're hosting a Housewives party, you really could save a lot on food by just realizing that not much is going to be eaten before like all hell breaks loose and people leave. So, you know, just throw a few sandwiches together. Okay, next we are in Staten Island for Valentina Loren's 5th red carpet Barbie extravaganza birthday party. If I only had one word to describe this party, it would be pink. It's very, very pink. Danielle and Valentina are dressed like Barbie. There's a real live Barbie walking around. And Dominic and Nate are both dressed like Ken. I mean, God, Nate's a good sport. He's got the kerchief tied around his neck, the pastel shirt and shorts. He really does wear whatever Danielle tells him to. He's an Adonis. Rachel is the first housewife to arrive, and she and Danielle talk about the brunch, Jen Fessler's brunch, and how insane things got between Margaret and Jennifer. And the funny thing is, everybody thought it was going to be Rachel and Jennifer that got into it. Rachel didn't even have a chance. Jennifer gets there now, and she and Olivia go and sit down with Rachel, which just shows you how desperate she is for, to find somebody that she even knows, because Teresa's not there yet. So that's kind of funny. But can I just quickly say, all I can see is Olivia in this sea of pink. Olivia is in a blue and white striped dress, and I love that for her. She's standing out in the crowd and she just has a normal dress on. But because it's not pink, even Jennifer's in pink. So I think it's kind of cool that Olivia, is her own person. And so even though Rachel and Jennifer are talking, Rachel, is still not feeling Jennifer. She's like, I think Jennifer believes what she's saying is true, but Jennifer, the way she has things twisted in her mind, she's not done anything wrong. Yeah, Rachel's not too sure about her. And now here come Teresa and Louis, and thank God Louis is not dressed like Ken. He does have his signature white t-shirt on that, just brings out the redness in his face. And now it's time for Valentina's little rehearsed entrance that they worked on, and they've got the confetti poppers and all that, and it's crazy over the top, but I can't help how adorable those kids are. They are scrumptious. Speaking of scrumptious, Olivia tells Rachel that when she grows up, she wants to be a therapist that helps with love and helps couples who are having problems, because she would like to fix them. Are you kidding me? Killing me. Okay, now Teresa and Louis are talking to Jennifer over by the bar, and of course they're talking about Margaret, and Teresa's egging her on with I thought she was a girl's girl. I thought she was all about women empowerment. And Jennifer's telling Louis, yeah, she called me a disheveled little drug addict. I look like $1 million, honey. She looks like Kojak in a wig. Kojak? You need to reference a bald man, and you're going back to a show that aired in the mid-'70s? How does Jennifer even know Telly Savalas? That was a deep cut. Plus, I would bet my house that Teresa doesn't know who Telly Savalas or Kojak is. And so to tell her that Margaret looks like Kojak in a wig, Teresa was lost. I don't know that Louis even knew the reference. I'm shocked Jennifer knows the reference. Anyway, Louis goes off to hang out with Nate, and now Rachel and Danielle join Jennifer and Teresa. And of course, the four of them are talking about the brunch from hell. And Jennifer's like, and I don't go digging for stuff. Laura, that ex-friend of Margaret's, she came to me and told me stuff. Remember, Teresa, she was saying that Margaret told Melissa to leave Joe. Remember, she was like, you could do so much better than that male chauvinist. Where's the lie? I don't trust her as far as I could throw her, and neither should you. And Teresa goes, I know, Margaret, and it's better to have her as a friend than an enemy. So that's why I made up with her. But, I'll always keep a few steps away. Jennifer, she's a master manipulator. She always tries to get everyone on her team. That's you, Jennifer. It's so weird how she's projecting exactly what she did and assigning it to Margaret. Jennifer's the one that went to Rachel to try to get her on her team and not Dolores's. And she went to Jen Fessler to try to get her on her team and not Margaret's. That's a page out of your playbook, Jennifer. Rachel goes, well, honestly, she's never done that to me. And I have a mind of my own. I'm just trying to get to know all you girls. And Teresa goes, yeah, just do your homework and pay attention. She's a regular Gandhi, that Teresa. And that is where this episode ended. Not a lot happened, but huge emotions coming out of Margaret. And I don't even think there were that many emotions coming out of Jennifer. I think Jennifer's just she's somebody who won't back down from a fight. So if you're coming at her, she's just going to keep hitting back. But I don't think there was that emotion behind it. I don't know. I could be wrong. And I could be wrong about Margaret, I guess. But I just think I've never seen her come that hard. Anyway, that is it for me this week. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that. And please go ahead and click on the bell icon and you will get a notification every time I post something new. I am an Amazon affiliate, and if you click on one of the links in the description box and purchase anything you want from Amazon, I will get a small percentage of any qualifying purchases that you make. It won't cost you anything, just a little bonus for me. And just a quick thank you to everybody who is sending their congratulations to me for hitting 10,000 subscribers. That is a huge accomplishment to me in the world of YouTube. It's very tiny, I get it, but for me and my channel that's been plugging along here for, March 17th is going to be 6 years that I've been doing this. So it's a long time to only get to that number, but to me, it's huge. And I'm just super excited about it. And to each and every one of you guys that have helped me get there, huge, huge thank you. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.